Get out of here, Jose. She said. All right. So anyway, Peyton's in the other room losing it right now. So am I live all day? Not all day. So we step out. So anyway, wild week. Few ups and downs for sure, but overall, some decent price action. So taking a look at the cues as we come to our weekly close. By the way, if you held any runners today, it was a little bit choppy, but up towards that 617.88 for those of you guys on TikTok. Any of this, your contracts are fucking bleeding. But this was a pretty nice hold up into those new highs. And with that being said, price settling here at 618. I'm going with my channel target, and I'm going to assume that we move into a 622.50 target potentially over the weekend. Right, so you'd be a fool. You can speculate, of course, on the empty space, but why? Unless we see something absolutely tragic. But other than that, the candle's green. We're moving into new highs. The weekly candle's obviously going to be a solid green into new highs. And this is where I've had some fun on the cues for sure. Swinging the cues into today actually, and IWM actually helped a lot. So that being said, this is where I can only really access the downside. I don't mind speculating on IWM, however. So if you are trading the cues, there's really not much else to interpret other than we are closing or moving into new highs, and anything to the downside is just pure speculation. Next week we have potential government reopening. Again, that was tentative. We don't have for sure information on whether or not we're going to open up or not. But Tuesday, also it's Halloween week. I think I got to go buy a bunch of costumes and wear them on stream for fun. But yeah, Tuesday, Wednesday, Wednesday we have federal fund rates, FOMC statement, and FOMC press conference. Thursday, advanced GDP, and then of course a lot of these are potentially tentative because of government shutdown, but core PCE price index and employment cost index coming in on Halloween. That's actually crazy. Does she know how much we like your baby blue eyes? I'm not sure she's really aware of that. I wish I wasn't, to be honest with you. Anyway, moving on. IWM, which is obviously going to be favored in terms of potential speculation into new highs on the weekly. You're holding your new highs on the lower time frame. We did exactly what we talked about. And if you took anything yesterday, I know I don't signal, but that was pretty damn close to a signal. I told you guys I was speculating on the 251s, and we worked off of 251.50, which is technically the top. Now, that being said, as far as speculation, we have literally gone sideways. So we have to look at, again, a lot of finding plays is just starting by saying what's above and what's below. So on the 30-minute, that's above, that's below, right? Very simple. And we could probably rest this down here, give or take, because that is the opening price at 248.55. So if, again, when I give you guys targets, or I say this is the target, so underneath that structure, that's the first target. And we use target-based contracts. So again, do I give signals? No. But if you know how this strategy works and you understand what I'm saying, which is the point, you could utilize this information just as if you were to tell me to say, hey, check out that level, and you use my strategy, I would obviously look at it. I'll still double check it, but not just playing. Anyway, underneath that is 247, where I think the best form of speculation lies. If you don't have any reason to speculate, perhaps don't. But of course, next week we are set up for some potential solid plays. This week has been really crazy in terms of pulling back. We saw the short down, caught that one. We saw the punch back and the punch overnight into that empty space to 251. And so now, with the empty space down below us and all-time highs looming, I think there is room for speculation. I'm not going to go half and half or straddle it, but I will be hedged, and I'll make a decision on which direction I'll take this towards the end of the day. Right now, we've got multiple bounces off the bottom, and we're just kind of sitting right underneath cost basis. Wouldn't take but one little click of news, and we'd be overhead. So, all right. I will take your request as quickly as possible, guys. We're going to get to with the ETFs. Be sure to tap your screen if you're on TikTok. But last one is going to be, did I do the Qs? Did I do the Qs? Or did I do SPY? Yeah, I did the Qs.
Yeah, you did the Qs on IWN, no SPY.
Little brain dead right now, my boys. All right, now with SPY, this one should be pretty simple because I really have nothing else to say, but I'm looking at the target of 681.34. Now, obviously, channels are not God and they don't make the final decision, but that's all I have to offer when we get into new highs. That being said, you have lots of empty space underneath you. So if you are long on individual equities, you can use the worst case scenario for SPY as your best case scenario for a hedge.
I don't mean to cut, but I think Nvidia is going to fill that gap, Potter.
Think that? I hope so, because I've been making some money as well with you. I got in earlier.
Don't forget your Pinto.
My little Pinto?
Oh, tú también, cabrón, eh?
Yeah, I got some too.
Trying to season that Pinto up, dude. What's up? All
Oh,
right.
yo,
That sounded a little sussy. All right. Anyway, so you got my target to the upside if that's what you're looking for. Nothing but rippage, obviously, underneath us. So, again, so that is our 3 ETFs. IWM is the only one that did not move into new highs. And as you can tell, or if you haven't seen, a lot of the time it's a lead and lag. IWM moves, then the SPY and the Qs move, and then the SPYs and the Qs move, and then IWM moves. So again, we'll take a look at that as we near the end of the day. I think that one has the best chance of speculation. Now, I know there's going to be a lot of requests here because we're going into the weekend. So if you guys want to go ahead and start dropping those now, I'm going to assume that if you're dropping a request that you know my strategy. All right. I'm going to try to do this going forward. So I'm going to be completely honest with you on what I see. And think of it like this. I am a robot and I've been designed to only look at boxes and empty space. And if I don't see those things, it's trash. You know what I mean? Now there are exceptions, obviously. I'm not a robot. So, but with that being said, I'm going to give you the best opinion I can, and I'm going to target those things when I do my analysis. My reason for this is I feel like I'm being too nice when you guys have doo-doo setups. Now, I also don't want to be the reason that you don't take something that you might have more information on than I do. Like you might have knowledge of a, pharmaceutical schedule that I don't know about, or a short volume. If you know those things and my strategy doesn't apply, that's outside of my wheelhouse and that's your own thing. All right. Now, that being said, I know everybody's going to ask me, so we'll go ahead and start. Tesla. Ugh. So, absolutely diabolical. So I had to get out of the calls that I tried to swing yesterday. I got in on those on the punchback, so that was a W. But I ended up having to take it to the downside. Now it moved like fucking pond water. But if you got next week's contracts, they're moving in the right direction. I'm gonna be 1,000% honest with you. With this rejection, it's not set in stone by any means. But how many opportunities do buyers need to have to do their job? And at this point, right, we've seen the big red down and a complete green back up. So while we are in that lower top, and did we not talk about this last night? Or was it last night? I think it was last night. We talked about this either last night or this morning. And it was this morning. That range, the range that we're in now, graveyard. If we can, so literally, your signals are here and here, which doesn't make your life. I mean, that makes life easy, right? Now, trying to anticipate which one breaks, what information do we have right now to offer, right? And I know, I took an L on it as well. That's life, but well, that's trading. But now, and we talked about the risk involved and and this is the worst case scenario. So, and it obviously we didn't go all the way up into the 460s. And that still is a chance if we're still locked in range. So here's what I am going to say going forward on Tesla. I am going to make a bag. And here's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to stop trying to juke this fucker out and get ahead of it. And I'm going to wait because I went back earlier today. And there aren't, like, yes, there are news correlation. You can go back and look at this with these big rips. And we can speculate on that when those events are set to come. But Tesla does do the 1, 2, 3 in whatever direction it heads. So we're going to get a signal. We will have, and I'm trusting that it repeats the same process that it's repeated again and again. And there are going to be some overnight movement, but I want a 3-bar play in one direction or another. And I'm not rushing the entry. I already got my ass spanked, again on earnings, not, within my risk. Completely both sides, worst case scenario, that was it. So is it still a great setup? Yes. Empty space below, theoretical empty space up above. So be patient, and targets down below for those of you guys maybe taking an earlier entry, that's 370 down. And I really have nothing other than the 525 and 515 or 515 and 525 targets directly up above that. Again, I don't have all-time highs edge. So, all right. Anyway, with that being said, we'll check back in tomorrow or next week. And of course, there is some his pay package event is, I believe, happening tomorrow. So, all right. Reddit. Great. So as far as lower time frame is concerned, and even if you look at it this way, this just simplify it. It's not the 24-hour, but if you're looking at the 24-hour, that is a solid candle close in the perfect direction. I love that. It's got a great little channel we've discussed before. I love that. Oh, damn. Love it so much. I let it go.
Has earnings though, by the way, on Thursday night.
Yeah, it does. So looking at this, the first and the most obvious target, again, we got to look at the contracts here. So if you guys want to do that while I chart it, the 231 would be the first and most obvious target here, considering, yes, the fact that earnings. This was a major rejection point, and you're not doing that now. So you're closing.
Well, this thing's $1,000.
Huh?
They're $1,000.
Oh, wow. Anyway, so 227, right? Gap fill 229.75, empty space within the structure above. Realistically, that's what it looks like because you tried to retest and reclaim and you failed and gapped down. So there is empty space. This should be a relatively easy box to set or move through. I say 252.85 is the possible target range in here. And imagine, right, earnings is here. So this could do one of these. And then go right into earnings, take off. So anyway, yeah, that's what I see. And you know what makes this beautiful? Well, if you did decide to trade it, again, the contracts are insane. I wouldn't mind check. Actually, will you guys take a look and tell me what a 150 and 152 or 155 contracts, 155 and 150s, what are those for the week of earnings? I can look right now, but
80 to 100
Now that's more reasonable.
It's pretty
For-
good.
That's not bad.
for you.
That's
For
not bad
me,
at all.
yeah. Well, when you say
The
it like
one
that, it
your
makes me
fifteen,
sound
like
it's
70 cents.
that's not bad. So I mean, like if you're again, if you're willing to accept the risk and you're not doing it because you just are trying to make a bag because you're doing bad and this is your come on, reel it in. You know, stop. If you're stretching, buying one contract of this, you're wasting your time. And if you're buying one or two contracts of this, puts stress on your account, you're doing the wrong shit. Move on. Anyway, that being said, not bad. All right, Reddit looks good. Earnings for next week, yes, does look really good, and we can obviously go over that maybe right at 4. I gotta go. We're going to a little fall festival with the kids, and then Ao has his first dance tonight. Should be lit. All right.
Oh,
Yeah, he wants to get his ears pierced. He saw his
Nice.
mom's earrings, dude.
Too early for that, bro. Come on.
Oh man, I see kids sometimes. All right, so I've made a lot of statements on bull, and I just think that this thing is, obviously lower time frame, maybe down on the 4 hour. There are some empty space pockets that I do believe next week with this punch back through here are definitely potentials, and that would lead you up to 1242 and at highest 1375. But ultimately, you're looking at this on a higher time frame. This is 1, 2, and kind of a lackluster 3. Well, I guess you do have a box down there. So yeah, I mean, I'd say 1262. Now, if you can go and break through that, maybe we get the third push back up here, and then we look at bull all the way out. And if that's what you're playing with equity or something of that nature, cool. But I'm still waiting on that one. I feel like the first time when we see this one dip, even into the dollar, man, I will not hesitate to scoop that up, set up, willing. So, all right, Beyond Meat. Yeah, I think that it could be a bit of a grind to the downside, but I see no reason why this thing, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, you've done a pretty good job at filling up that empty space, and downside looks like you got a little channel that is operating here, so be mindful of that. You've got the 30-minute looks like it's clear, and the most recent price action is very responsive. So in my opinion, looking at this, which I do think these could potentially expand, this might go down. It's not that easy to push down. So I mean, I'm not gonna say it's hard, but a lot of the times you'll see a lot of fluctuations as it goes to travel down. But this would be kind of one of those crucial levels. This was actually where you had your box to punch through, and so losing 196, I think go ahead. That puts the pin in the cushion, and this one heads to 115. All right, Nvidia. Oops. Yeah, we're moving in the right direction right now as we speak. It's got a gap fill up above it. Sellers have got the back up against the wall. And honestly, now that we're going into the weekend like this with the Qs at all-time highs, you could be looking at the 192 target directly up above you. I'm a little bit torn on this one. You've got more points of contact here, but obviously the floor is there, and that's been pretty responsive. But anyway, the gap is number one, and I think pushing past that gap next week and pushing outside of what was the previous resistance across the board, which is 190. Obviously 190, 186 would be the first target there. RDTL, thinking about buying it long term. Oh, for earnings. That could be a safe alternative if the contracts fit the script. The target would be 55.77 and maybe 60. Downside 32.71. So if anybody wants to go and explore those contracts, you could definitely do that. Thank you for bringing that up. INTC. So I actually am a part of this big red candle here. I sold a lot. In fact, most of INTC. For me, this play's over. I got in here. I got out here. My goal when we set out for this play, me and Chad hand in hand, it was this empty space, that empty space, and that was it. The only thing I could find, and we talked about this morning, was this up here. So if you're looking for continuation of the upside, that's what you're looking for. But that doesn't start until you obviously can reclaim the floor, right? And that floor is right here at 41.28. Target hit, perfect play. If anybody's been watching me on TikTok for this year, right, basically since September, which I know a lot of you guys have been, this was the play, right? So for me to speculate any further, that wasn't what I intended to do when I took this, so that the play's done. Now, in terms of downside, that starts to open up. And I honestly, in these INTC can be a little bit fickle here, but I do see some control established here, little channel there. That probably expands down to that. That would be correct. For now, 4 hour, where's this coming from? Okay, so that's basically the beginning of your uptrend. Let's see if we can't adjust that. Maybe I'm off. I am off. Look how it cleaned itself up right there. Points of contact. Okay. And then you've got your sell wall here, your bottom floor there. So underneath 36.45, that's where you could open up a downside play. But for now, there is empty space above. And so it is a very strong possibility that INTC could fill that up and even possibly go pop another high to hit that channel and then maybe come down. But you have perfect structure underneath you if you're looking to go short, or, even if you're still holding long. So, but yeah, that's INTC. All right. Apple for earnings might look like, so I have, and probably never will again, unless it's just absolutely gorgeous, but I probably never take earnings on Apple again. That being said, you're up against highs. And that's not to say that it hasn't had decent earnings, but the contracts typically are very expensive. Again, if that situation has changed, then by all means, but I guess in a positive note, you would have the empty space down below to hedge yourself to like 250. But other than that, I really only see, possibly a big ass rip up into the 270s. Apple is a little choosy on how it, earnings moves. Here was pretty good and pretty straightforward setup though. So anyway, you're heading north. I would assume it keeps moving in that direction. So all right. Yeah, we did IWM. That one is probably the only one that I'm gonna possibly speculate on here. Interestingly enough, this might be the position if you are going to speculate on this. I need to keep my eye on this actually now that we're
I was looking at the let me
you broke up. What?
I was looking at the 255s for the 28.
Yeah, 254, 253, 255 would be obviously top end there. I think I think one thing that I see here is like, okay, we're bunching up, building a box. It is really a strong possibility that we either test here and then, or we test here and then. But that's, again, showing like we're up against this small box and it's just stopped us in our tracks. But however, I'm kind of trying to see here as we get towards the end of the day, if this starts to show any signs of cracking on one side or the other, where, we could see a pullback here end of day, down to 248 or even to that 248.62. So. I will say not whether I'm on speculation mode for a little end of the day dumpy. All right. I'll take a look at one of those real quick. So snow is currently up against the highs, and honestly, the only thing that's kind of stopping me is the fact it does have empty space from where it's currently standing. And again, you're looking into all the way to your left because this is the only price action that you really have. That being said, I'm trying to stick with my points of contact here. This is what needs to happen, and honestly, with how wiki that is, you could probably do with going to a lower time frame. Let's see the 2 hour here. Okay, yeah, we'll shrink that down like so. So right now, I would say 262.85, and because this is a real box, the only thing, you have a box and a range, right? So punch back and over 272.68, I think you get that 285.28. Obviously the candle close right now, I would assume 268.82. ELTR at the close. So that one has earnings, correct?
On the third.
It's really hard for me to not want to take a position on that. And I'm trying not to be impulsive on this. But man, if anything, it looks like it might move. I mean, this shit looks like it might move, and if I'm not mistaken, yeah, we can get, you know, consolidation. I guess this was a punchback after earnings and all-time highs. That one really didn't perform all that well, but it just come off a big run. That one performed well off of a punchback. This one performed well. So, you know, I look at this and I'm like, okay, you know, you've got two major times in which you've hit the top here. The only alternative is, you know, maybe you pull back here and then springboard back up. But with this tension, I don't know if you even need to do that. That being said, targeting system, you know, I know this is caveman behavior, but I mean, what else when we're pushing up into all-time highs? You know, I'm looking at previous price action to kind of guide me here, because I mean, it is pretty consistent. And that's where we did this morning, where we're like, okay, you know, that kind of lines up pretty well. So the 232, the question is, and you said that's for the third, correct? Or the fourth?
Yeah. It's on the third.
Of November.
Which is the following week of, not this one, but the following week.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
correct.
the 14th. Wow.
It's on the day I fly home.
I fly. So, you know, we got to talk about the contract expense. I mean, they are expensive. I feel like you just got to trust that this is going to provide a hopefully better entry or even just that move that we're looking for. As far as what we're seeing here on a lower time frame, and who knows, you know, if this thing is just pending news, which is why it kind of looks like it will get news even before earnings. But that being said, you are some things that are distinguishable from what it's done in the past is right now we have a solid candle close outside of 182 182.80, which has served as a pretty substantial resistance kind of across the board. The only thing that stands in your way is 187.50. So, you know, again, we're more leaning to the upside at the moment. I can't say that taking contract, I mean, you can't really go any closer than the 7th of November. So the hope here is that it doesn't move. The hope is that it goes up to the top at 187.50 and pulls back to where it's breaking out now, right? So something like this. That's what you'd like to see, because that would lower the cost of those contracts. Um, I mean, you could go further, right, and look maybe a little bit past the 230s and just add another week. But yeah, it's a little bit of a tricky situation here. But I don't. I look regardless of if it has earnings or not, right? It's still going to do mechanically. It looks the same as it has before, just more extreme. So I mean, this hard not to want to take that one at all. So looking pretty good. Let's see, CD and S up.
You do know that every time you say a setup looks like it's waiting for news, news comes out, right?
Yeah,
That's what happened with AMD.
yeah, you're right. Well, I mean, I might slip into something. Yeah, November 21st, or if you have a larger account, you could feel free. I'm trying to think in the position of a small account too, is like um obviously because I'm looking at this from our earnings account and I'm trying to see if that will fit the script. Now my regular account, yeah, I don't mind taking this now, but anyway, all right, so CDNS is moving into all-time highs, right? And that's what you're going to have to assume here is likely going to happen. Today you gapped up on the floor, you held the floor. On a lower time frame, you can see it here on the 24. There looks like there's a box and you tapped at 50% of said box. So above today's high and outside of 357.15, yes, you could look into the 390s or a potential new high. Chart looks pretty good. The chart does look good to just take it to the high. When I look at yours, Ivy, that chart does look good. It's not wrong at all, just because I have a different, I'm just encapsulating it all. But it still leaves you with a similar play. So how the fuck did you do that? I like how he did that. That was cool. All right. UHS, does that happen when you just put the dollar sign in there? No. That's cool. Thank you. If you guys are on TikTok, be sure to tap your screen. I appreciate you. Oh, so automatically, I look at the way that this price action and that deters me immediately, right? I see trash box, that box punches through, you go into what? Like price action here is wonky. Weekly might clean this up a little bit more. Yeah, where you can kind of look at it this way, and that has you up against the floor. And so yeah, you could look at that 228 mark, which on the 24-hour would be right towards the end of that close. But with that being said, yeah, you did bounce today. You do have a good candle close there. So if you're looking to fill that empty space up to 228, 229, I don't see any. Oh, cool. Yeah. No, I have not checked them out. It does have weekly empty space here, and it's doing a great job of holding on to a floor. That being said, you aren't technically outside of where you need to be, which is 38. What you gonna do, IWM? Let's look at the 4-hour. Okay, so that kind of clears up a little bit. You have a small range here with a 36.60 floor. So candle close 4-hour 38 would definitely put you in a position to keep climbing, but I don't like the way that price action looks at all. So have I taken any trades for the earnings account? No. I've taken some earnings trades on my account. Some cheat clappers. Yeah, PLTR and Tesla, those are going to be big ones to watch next week. Okay, so this one I had a target, a floor of 725. Clearly that is what has hit. Now, in order for you to get up above that, you got to solve the problem that's directly up above you. And it looks like okay, so you had to dip into that empty space. It's not quite enough or quite a box. It's more of a range right here. Floor, median. It's a very unusual price action. You have a smaller, lower time frame channel that you're operating in here, which tells you that 640 is likely the target. So in order to continue moving forward, 670 and obviously a 705 break would offer some potential continuation. That being said, I would be looking at a 932 target to the upside. Ford. Damn. Didn't they like post a huge loss or something like that? Very cool.
They said that they had a big fire at their aluminum plant, so it was going to cost them money plus the tariffs. I got into it and made a small profit, but not much.
Yeah. Yeah, on earnings for Ford, it's hit or miss even on the contracts here. So honestly, this could be the top here. You've already filled up the empty space to 1488. You would have to be assuming that this thing, yeah, I as far as empty space in front of you, you filled pretty much all of it. So I don't know if
Overall,
Yeah.
overall, it wasn't worth it. I got 75 contracts at $14, and I made like a whopping $75 off of it.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. I learned my lesson on that one a long time ago. Stay away. It doesn't. Sometimes I think I've seen one earnings before when it dumped really hard and people were able to schlap that one. So all right, DKNG. Did I add? No, I did not add. 3 rejections out the top. It's leaning towards the bottom. It's left empty space underneath it. It's trying to bounce. Still has a level here at 3250. So honestly, it's getting close enough to earnings that it might just stay in this range and set up for that, where we could look at a 29.14 target down and a $40 target up. Let's see here. Upstart is looking pretty good, although it did pull back today. It started trying to make its journey up and out and failed. But it unfortunately doing so expended the volume in that box. Man, that's unfortunate. I would venture to guess that 5240 is going to be numero uno, because that is where you fall. That is where you reject. So bouncing and holding here, you can see sellers are trying to push it back down here. So honestly, on the 30-minute, I think that would probably be, there's 5187. Did I notice the volume on IWM November 21st puts? I don't know if that's retail. I didn't see that, but that wouldn't surprise me. There could be a lot of hedging happening right now. A lot. In this environment, I mean, think about it. If you have like a $4 million position or, $5 million position, $100,000 hedge would trigger a sweep.
What does that mean?
A sweep is where there's algorithms that are built to pick up large purchases in the option field. And a lot of people will call these, like, if over $1 million of something is bought, they call it a golden sweep. Every Discord, I mean, we had Flo in here at some point. It was really funny. This dude started a whole new business, and he approached me. He was like, hey, I'm like running a prototype program. And so he plugged in all this shit in the Discord, And then his business like took off, but he forgot about me. And so we just sat there with like a free flow thing for like 2 years. But that being said, I have found like if you wanted to use flow, there's a proper way and an improper way to do it. If you're blindly following it, you're an idiot. But if you follow flow and you're like, holy shit, that's a golden sweep, and you go look at that setup and it's like, okay, yeah. My only thoughts are I wouldn't buy the same strike. I'd buy something near it, but not it. You don't want to buy an inflated, high volume, random out of the money contract. So Tarthur by using 24-hour time frames. TTD is dropping like a rock.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
Like a rock. Yeah. So to whoever asked me if that is buying time for more earnings. Empty space down below. Holy shit. Feels a little bit like news though.
Damn.
Yeah, flow complements and that so my job is to teach you guys the foundational structure of this strategy because how you use it is entirely up to you. Like, I mean, I have had a good friend of mine hit me up because he just knew that like it wasn't uh insider info. It was public information that they were pushing. They had it on their website. And so he was like, yo, how do you feel about I think it was Carrier or something like that. But he asked me, how do I feel about this setup? It has a big event coming. And I literally was like, well, let me look at it. And it had a big ass amount of empty space. And so I was like, yeah, the target up above would be here. Those would be the contracts I'd take. He ended up fucking taking it. And then he posted it in the gains page, 1200% overnight random news. But the same thing with flow. I have found that I'll enter a position, it will start moving, and then flow comes in. So I can't use that as a guide. Now, if it comes in and you see something and you're like, yo, dude, this has a good setup and people are buying it, like, okay, we'll take it into consideration. But it's set up first. If I can't understand why they fucking bought that, then I'm not going to get in it and feel the same exact way. Lulu. That one, dude, I think that one drops hot, heavy, back down at least. I mean, dude, it got trapped underneath here. 180 got retested. You leaving a bunch of empty space below. I'm not calling for like a fast, huge dump, but there is a potential here with this 1-2, 1-2. And again, I want to repeat, if you notice over here, look, you build a box, you drop, build a box, and then drop all the way down. So I wouldn't be surprised if you drop, build a box, drop, build a box, and then finish that move down, bounce like this, and then we finally see our move back up. But that being said, major rejections here. So looking at this as a swing trade, possibly over the weekend, you would be hoping for a drop down under 175.80. Target would be 173.50. You got to decide. Yeah. You said pins. I've traded Pinterest in a while. Also, before some of you pile into a bunch of random shit, if you haven't had the greatest of weeks or you're struggling and stuff like that, a lot of the best thing to do is not put yourself in another stressful situation, but to just go into next week clean, fresh, without any sort of baggage on top of you. So I saw that. Yeah, we just went over F. Yeah, exactly. UNH has earnings. Yeah, Pins doesn't have a ton. Sorry, I kind of skipped over that. But Pins does have kind of empty space up above it. Honestly, this thing is a mess. It is a huge mess. On the monthly, it sure does, but that's not happening until you're above 40 bucks. Clearly, 40 bucks. That might be something that, I mean, Pinterest seems like something that could get bought, but it just seems like a Snapchat to me. Or an X. No offense. I mean, just not my favorite. I did take some PLTR. Speaking of, give me a second. These dudes are out here tripping. They with the Rat Pack. Hit him with the chopper. That's the Rat Trap. All right. I believe there's PLTR derivatives as well. I think PLTRA or something like PLTA or something like that. So, I mean, you could look at the contracts on that one. Jesus Christ, dude. Look at this stock.
How do you do that copy paste price, man? I've been trying to do that and I cannot figure it.
Copy paste price.
How you move those candles? You copy and paste it and move the candle.
So if you have a Windows, it's Windows key Shift S, and then when you do that, you can't see this, but I'll like highlight that, hit like a little box, and then you just hit the right mouse key and hit paste. Man, the spread's a little wide on that. What it do? I think it is PLTRA, ProShares Ultra PLTR. That is definitely not it. There's another one, PLT.
PLTU, I believe.
Yeah, you're right. I think so. Yeah. That one, PLTU. There you go. Yeah, check that one out. See if it's a little bit more price friendly. See, on this one, you can kind of see it almost looks like it already had, like, as a punchback. Yeah. The only thing I will say about this is if you look at it, it has that, which, like, you could see a fatty McDrop downtown too. So, but obviously we're pointing up. So 3-minute Hail Mary signal over the weekend. Yeah, PLTR. But anyway, I'm going to take a look at IWM really quickly, see how we're closing, and we're pulling back right into the close. I really feel like this one's got a retest here, but then at the same time, little second high there. Well above this. Again, if you're speculating, make sure you're doing it with the risk that you're willing to lose and that you're putting the money that you care about into setups that make sense to you. If nothing makes sense to you, you need to learn what a good setup is. Yeah, 240's down. or even 244s on IWM for the 28th of October. Hit him with the chopper. That's the Rat Pack. And then that upside is obviously 253s. Oh shit, I almost just got filled for 1,000. So cancel that order, baby. All right. YN Locker, I had a better average on PLTR and I got rid of them. No way. IWM going for a last minute breaky poo.
Oh, he pushing.
Oh lordy, he pushing.
Oh, he pushing.
Oh way. Hit him with the chopper. That's the Rat Pack. Rat Trap. Sorry. Damn. Yeah, I grabbed I mean on IWM you got the 248, but you also have 247 to the downside is the worst case scenario.
Oh my god. Gary, look at Netflix's close on the 24. Oh my god.
Oh fuck.
This thing is going back to below 1,000, bro.
All right, hold on, slow down there, Poppy. Dude, 1063, but it could 100%.
Okay, 1063, I get it. 1064.88.
But 1,000, dude. Look at 1,000 as a key level underneath us.
Yeah,
Let's
pretty
look at the
crazy.
weekly close. Man, it's not too late. You grab an IWM swing, little swingy poo. Go straddle.
I don't
Love
think I
how
have. Oh yeah, I do have buying power. I didn't even fucking trade today. What am I talking about? Jesus, I'm flat on the day. That's so crazy.
Yeah, 247s for next week on IWM down. Damn,
My full
yeah.
account's available. When my full account's available to withdraw, that's how I know I didn't do nothing today.
Damn, dude. I kind of wish I would have saw that. It's getting close to my channel bottom.
I had an alert go off again because I have an alert at 195. Dude, it looks absolutely sick, man. I'm gonna probably be trading that more next week. It's just fucking so slow, dude.
Somebody on TikTok said, Manny, I'm going to fly out to Miami and day trade with you and I'll buy lunch. He doesn't kiss
Okay,
on the
we can-
first date.
it just wants signals.
We can make that happen, but I don't kiss on the first date.
Yeah. Just
You get signals on the first date?
About the
Just trust.
second.
Bro, I don't even give signals now. You guys literally mistake my watch list for signals. Ask Garrett. Garrett can tell you I don't give signals at all.
It's just a joke, man.
I
Good
am
man.
not that type. People back then used to get mad at me because I wouldn't say when I'm in or out. It came to the point that they would just hear my broker make noise.
Who is, oh my God. Damn, PB and Jelly now. Let's
Yeah.
calm that down there a little bit. Damn. Can another
But
Manny join? Yes, we could. We have always. No, I need. What if you bail on me for like a week, dude? I need like a.
I would
like
never
a,
bail on you, dude.
I need like a
I
little.
understand we did it once. You know why I did it. Come on, the company. It is what it is. But listen, depends. What's your name, Manuel or Emmanuel? You have to have a real name. If you just named Manny, I will ban you myself.
Oh
What's your
my
real
God.
name? Manuel or Emmanuel? Depending on that answer, we'll see if you can join.
By the way, if you're looking to join, we have the flash code that's closing
Manueliela.
today. If you would like to join, this is your last
Shut up,
shot.
Big Stepper.
Might open up a window on Halloween, but that's it.
We know it's you.
His name's Manuel.
All
Manuel.
right, yeah, he can join.
Yeah.
Wait, do you have a middle name? What letter does it start with?
Oh shit! Look at how many Mannies are in here, dude.
Wow.
Wow.
Damn, there's mad man. There's 4 Mannies in the presence right now, dude.
Yo, Alex, like, don't interact with me, bro.
Damn.
I don't want to interact with you. I'm gonna fire you. I'm gonna hire DJ back up.
Oh.
I like Ivy better. Ivy's the better sibling.
Oh my gosh. Don't listen to him.
That's my boy.
Oh my god. Don't listen to this, Alex. You made him send the sad penguin thing, man. It's fucked up.
It's all right, dude. Club Penguin shut down years ago.
All right. No, I don't feel as bad for you because you used that meme. I hate them so much, dude. Listen, they freak me out so bad. Look at
Yeah,
that thing,
Garrett's
dude.
completely freaked out with monkeys. I don't
Look
know.
at like
I
maybe it's the sunken eyes, like that's like I don't know, bro, but like don't come near me. Snatch my snack, dude. I'm gonna knock your head off. I'm not gonna lie to
don't
you.
come here.
Wait, with the what? No, look at the GIF. Show her the GIF. She just thinks I'm saying out of context things. Manny doesn't get piano player by dinner. That's crazy.
He's just scared of those monkeys. Scared of those. Listen, I will like you can come to Miami and we can like trade together, but dude, you got to take me out to dinner at like Komodo or Novikov. If you
Hey.
can't afford those two dinner places or two, we cannot do anything.
But
That's
if you
a
can't afford it, what are you gonna do?
that's a fancy.
My
Depends
poor
on if
students
it,
have been waiting on a level 2
depends-
class for
it
like 3
depends on
years.
if it's the first or second date.
Depends on how many
Chinos.
Avion waters y'all buy.
Oh, dude, you're gonna have to buy at least 5, dude.
Dude, you can't talk about that no more. You're paying $33 a case like me, so.
Damn, you get them for I get them for 30, dude.
Oh, really? Oh, there's a Miami tax.
Ah, sheesh. Yeah, I've been drinking one of those a day, dude. Been fucking
Yeah,
hydrated.
it's you. Look at how you had like nice little 4-carat earrings on.
Oh yeah, you
The
guys missed
water,
it, dude.
The water, Chico, it changes you.
I did. I actually I tried Peyton's earrings on to see how I would feel. And
Guys, they look so cute. I was the cutest little white girl I've ever seen in my life.
all right, get this guy. Ivy, can we execute? Let's see here. I'll have it somewhere.
Ivy, can you execute a Cuban guy, please?
What?
The Cuban guy. Get him. What is today? There it is. I found it. Look. Oh, it's not working. There. That's. Oh my God, Manny, get that out of there.
That wasn't me. Look how cute she looks, bro. Oh, bro, I'm telling you, cutest white girl I've ever seen. Look at this.
Stop disrespecting Peyton like that.
No,
Hey.
it's Garrett. What do you mean?
Oh my
Sheesh.
God. Listen, never wearing earrings again, dude.
I'm always messing around, babe.
I'm already sad. I'm already sad. Oh, thank you for the crystal roses, Bobby Glocks. Wow, IWM is starting to leak here. You have a few minutes if you want to peel off one side. Make an adjustment before the end of the day, but Chingle away. Damn, I would make him look me in the eyes while giving me signals. Oh, damn. Damn.
Damn. Damn.
Take me to dinner first.
No, I
My
said,
God, that's
yeah.
he was that's like 50 shades of Manny.
Nah, he was
Jeez.
talking about that picture I posted.
Yeah, thank God it was the picture, not me.
Ready for Halloween? I'm gonna be Blippy. Oh my God, dude! I hope some random homeless guy takes it. Actually, never mind. We're keeping it clean. Blippy. I'm gonna write that down. If you ever join the Discord, we'll just keep that in mind. You know. By the way, as a rule of thumb, Blippy is not allowed to join our Discord. I don't know if I've ever said that. Same thing with the German Prime Minister or Chancellor. She's banned. We banned her from the Discord. What are you doing later? Put zombies in exfil mode? No way. I could do that tonight. I'm about to leave very soon. We're about to go to a little fall festival and eat snacks, and then we're gonna
Well,
come
wait.
back and then AO has a dance, so we're gonna drop him off. So maybe after we drop him off. But I just
Chef,
gave
I added it in your calendar for the weekly pay. Sorry to interrupt you.
Oh, you did? Oh my god, dude! I love this
Yeah,
fucking
chef.
calendar so much, dude. I can't even describe to you the things that it's doing for. Listen, I'm not even joking. I'm not even being funny. If you're a business owner with ADHD, the Skylight calendar has fucking changed like how I see time. Listen, I just it for if you have time blindness, like being able to, and yeah, it is expensive, and you can get the smaller version. I got the big one, but that's so that I thought my whole family was going to use it. They didn't. But as far as like having everything in front of you, if you're somebody who like, you get done with one task and you're like lost, it just really, really, really helps. So just don't, I don't get paid by them. I don't have an affiliate link, so don't ask me. But do I sell contracts to retail? I sell contracts to whoever will buy them. What's it called? The Skylight calendar. I have it right here next to me. I can see I can set it for like different days, put task. The one thing I haven't tried yet, but I'm about to, is where you can connect Instacart to your calendar, and I guess like you connect it with your account, but like when you add shit on your grocery list, you can just order it from there, which is kind of cool. Anyway, IWM is still leaking. I don't have a rule for it. Yeah, Skylight calendar, but Trump might be. No fucking way. That's not real. What? All right, guys. Was it what was it? Was it the fucking Hydron Collider, dude? And we're like fucking up the timelines now? What is happening?
Yo, this may sound crazy, man, and like I will admit it on live if I'm wrong. Like I've done other things, but I don't know why. I feel like gold is gonna dump so bad after FOMC. I hope it doesn't. I hope it goes to another all-time high for the
Say that.
sake of everybody that I know personally that hold gold, real and and spread out yearly positions. But I don't know, bro. It should have been back at highs by now, dude.
Do you think that it goes through a series of consolidation? Because, dude, when I look at what just happened, I see the birthplace. It's like a nebula, dude. It's like a birthplace
Yeah.
for stars. Like you've built a base, right? This is like the prerequisite for a weekly, and this is something that gold, and I know I'm looking at GLD, but it's like something that gold does, is it seems to base before it makes any sort of large move, whether that's up or down. It
Yeah,
gives you
it
those
does.
waves.
Always.
Right. And so looking at that, I'm like, well, even here, right? I mean, yeah, you dump and you build a box and you just keep dumping, but like you put structure together, build a box, retest it. And so I wonder if we see, I mean, again, it ripped up
Well,
really, really
it
fast, so it doesn't have a lot to hang on to.
yeah.
And like
Okay,
you
so,
said,
so
go ahead.
the thing with gold and what gives gold the volume, because you gotta remember, overall gold without that dollar movement, it doesn't really move, right? Like, so you have to look at it like this: you pretty much
Mhm.
have news that moves gold that has been turned off, right? All those ADP reports that we get at the beginning of the month into NFP, that is what sets the tone for the month for gold. You get what I mean? So
Yeah.
towards the end of the month, when the data dries out, gold starts building its boxes. But what breaks it out, right? What brings in that volume for those breakouts is those news events. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like when you take that away, what's gonna move it?
Yeah. Yeah. Very true.
That's just what it. And I mean, I've been trading gold this point for years, and when I taught it that I gave my workshop, that was one of the main things I spoke about, right? Like that news is what breaks it out, and this was even before the whole powder box, but that gold would just trade in zones, same exact
Yeah.
fucking thing. Leave empty space and then fill it and back, and it'll just always go and retest that area it broke, down or out of.
I mean, one thing I could say right now is I'm not a big fan of how, like, right now this is a pretty simple bounce. You don't have much resistance up above you. People are clearly
Yeah.
hesitant to buy at the top. Um,
Especially
but
with FOMC,
that was just
you
going
know,
to
'cause-
say with FOMC, but I think best case scenario, wide fluctuation in price, that range gets this is what we build into going into whatever the next move is.
yeah.
So how old is the Potter box? What, 5 years old? It's just a little baby. About 4 or 5 years old. 5 years old. I
I
didn't
would
call it.
say that is.
About Ellie's age?
I was using the concept of the box for about a year and a well, I mean, year and a half. I just didn't. I mean, I say this all the time, but like coming into the stock market, most of the time you're coming into it as like, I don't know what this is and I need someone to teach me. And so if you decide to go and trek it out alone, like to me, it was like, oh, this is something that's already been solved. Like you can't add something new to this old ass, dinosaur of a fucking market. So even just being able to say like, well, okay, well, does anybody else have a name for this shit? Like, okay, well, Darvis tried, but he fucking failed. He didn't finish the work, probably because he was broke. But that being said, also different time, Darvis box when you're fucking charting on a newspaper is probably pretty difficult. But yeah, that being said, it took a while to kind of gain the confidence in it and to be like, yo, this has got to have a name. We can't just be calling it, the box. But
I remember Darvis when I was learning in general back in like 2017. I was one
yeah,
of the first
yeah, we
things that I
brushed.
learned. I mean, it made sense, you know. Then I still wonder to date why I went through my curiosity for level 2 and then TPO.
Mhm.
Because bro, it's like the weirdest shit ever, right? Like how crazy you gotta be to be watching constant order flow. Like you're literally reading every tick of the
Yeah.
candle.
I mean, dude, I feel like what I did was take what one of the theories that I had was that whether it was an indicator or a strategy, somebody was trying to pull like some truth or some repetitious uh anomaly out of the market. And so while you might find consistency in the Elliott, or you might find that the Elliott waves offer something, but they don't really offer price targets, or they don't, it's like supposed to be a set percentage. What did I take from Elliott waves and all of this bullshit? To count to 3. After you look at boxes and boxes, and I mean, you're going through, I who knows how many charts I've looked at after all of this time. I would assume it's getting close to fucking at least, I don't know, fucking 50,000 or some shit like that. But I mean,
Insane.
I pulled like essentially like what I perceived to be a little bit of truth out of something that in its entirety wasn't working. Because like that's what I really wanted to see is like, okay, well, what works for you? Like what situation is like, what's your best setup? And like most of the time, like, yeah, take me through the patterns. Okay, well, that shit doesn't fucking work. And there are some patterns that have been back tested and do have a higher probability of working. But what's one of the things that makes an inverse head and shoulders? A lot of the times it's a fast drop in price, and the inverse head and shoulders is price equalizing or pulling itself back together, right? After a big expansion, rubber band pops, and then it squeezes back together. But I guess when I came into this, my first experience was getting scammed, or literally having the person that I thought was supposed to teach me say point blank when he left his mic open that like if you want to make money off of people, like you just got to sell them some basic problem or basics. You just got to find a problem and sell them the solution. And that might not even be them being profitable. They just need the information, but that information might not even be clear. And that's where I was like, okay, yeah, he left his mic open. It was like the first time that Aristotle Investments started doing live trading, and bro made like multiple live mic. Like he was bragging to one of his homeboys that had come over that he had made like $250,000 in 2 or 3 days by charging. He was doing the shotgun blast where he was like, I basically all he did was go to Investopedia, copy and paste, and then the hardest work that he put into that was finding the right emojis. Dead ass. I'm not even joking. And he sold that and made it back. That's how easy it is. I mean, Manny and me have had this discussion before. I've talked to other people, but like, dude, I could do that shit. But that just feels bad, dude. I don't know how you feel good after doing some shit like that. You didn't help anybody. You helped yourself at the expense of taking advantage of 100 or 1,000 or 2,000 people's hope and need or want to better their lives. What the fuck is wrong with you? But anyway, I just tried to take. I tried not to believe anything or anyone unless I could fully comprehend why that worked. And that, I think that attitude of being like, taking my defiance disorder and being like, nah, I'm not listening to anybody because none of you seem to fucking have it figured out. And every time I read a book, like everybody fucking glazes the, and not to say that it's a bad book, but Trading in the Zone, that's a personal experience in the markets. Rules that were made up by a person, right, who has his own personality, his own behavioral types, his own emotions, and his own ways of managing those emotions. So for him to tell me that I couldn't let my day trade turn into a swing trade, piss off. Because I've made so much money letting my runners run. Why do I need to believe you? Because you wrote a book? Dude, there's some dumbasses who've written books. I think fucking yeah, Sarah Palin's wrote a fucking book. I almost shot my grandson, but it was a bear. But anyway, yeah, I mean it sets me when I see all these TJR TikTok traders. Dude, honestly, it's almost like seeing a giant football field filled with hamster cages and with little wheels in them. I'm like, dude, these guys think they're going, but you're in a cage for which you probably won't ever break out, because not only are you spending all of your time and energy convinced that this is the way, now you have to unlearn it. Now you have to stop. Now you have to come to the conclusion that maybe everything that you just did might have been bullshit. Maybe you have to look at the fact that, I'm sorry, but if your guru says that I'm going to the Robbins Cup and he's the guy who invented the strategy for scalping and day trading and blows his account year after year, you might start to, okay, maybe it's the style of trading. Maybe the strategy could be good, but the style in which people trade it is trash. So I bet you if all of them swung and, futures allowed you to do that without some ridiculous cost, like, dude, maybe more people would be successful. But anyway, that's my 2 cents. I got to get going.
Your TJR take is what convinced me that you're a real one that I should follow, because I felt the same way when I saw his video.
What about like him?
Just about how about how he's kind of like bullshit. Like a lot of those gurus are the same.
They're all fucking fools. They're all little paper trading.
I mean, here's the recipe, right? Move to Miami, get a penthouse, rent one with your boys that has no furniture in it, and
cost more than the penthouse.
Right? Yeah, rent a Lambo, right? It's to prop the lifestyle up that you don't have to anybody with any liquidity or even some good credit could put themselves in that position to take advantage of everybody. Because I have seen people park on be on the top of a parking garage with $800 in ones and a fucking Hellcat, and they're standing there with 400 or even 1,000 viewers, like, come on, tap in, fam, like, we're gonna get you right. Dude, honestly, maybe that is what needs to happen. How do we get smarter? Sometimes through bad things, right? As much as I wish that bad things didn't happen, sometimes they gotta. And so perhaps they're the gatekeepers. You make it past them, you might have a chance. But if you get caught up and that's the immediate, like that catches you first, that might be the journey that you need to go through. I know a lot of people in here have been through other Discords and now they're like, yeah, that's not the way. they're fully convinced. They don't need me to tell them that, you know, that
Love
shit
you,
don't work.
Jared.
Love you too, dude. All right,
You'll be a
guys.
fool, man. Just don't scam people, you know.
Yeah, speaking of, sorry. So, dude, what did he say? He said typical Furu. I posted Peyton's earrings and fucking breakfast, and he was like, typical Furu posting lavish lifestyle, well, us poors. And I was like, dude, Manny,
Yeah.
this is what's staring up at me right now on the floor. Look at
Just
live,
playing fast way over.
look at live trading.
So cute.
That belly. She just staring at the. She dead ass just staring at me right now. She's like, "You really not gonna touch this belly, dude?" I'm gonna touch it in a second, okay? All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. Thank you guys. Let's start next week fresh. Obviously we'll open up on Sunday, see what it do. Yeah, next week is also the last week of the month, so monthly candles are closing, monthly contracts, all that other good shit. But yeah, y'all enjoy your weekend, get some rest. We'll catch up
Thank
on
you, Chef.
Sunday. Yeah, Ivy, Alex, thank you guys
Have a
very
great
much.
weekend, guys.
Yep, thank you guys.
Thank you,
I'll see you
Ivy.
guys on
Not Alex, though.
Sunday.
Stay safe, guys.
Damn, the beef is real, dude. It's all right. I got you, Alex. I got you, Alex. Come here. All right, guys. Peace. Yeah, if you guys are trying to join, you can go to the website or go into the Discord and DM Ivy or look in one of the games or one of the pages. Feel free to DM anybody, ask questions, look through the games page, testimonials. But yeah, we'll see you guys on Sunday. Flash sale ends tonight though. So if you're trying to sign up tonight is tonight or Halloween. So all right, guys, peace. See ya.